That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Fitting for Argylle, directed by Matthew Vaughn, who did Layer Cake. Stardust, not the WWE wrestler, where Cody Rhodes was so goddamn disappointed, he said, I'm gonna jettison off elsewhere, create my own company with Blackjack and the Elite, and then come back and become the biggest star. Whoa! Only smoke and mirrors. Whoa! And now he's down straight on the road to WrestleMania. This isn't about Cody Rhodes, because he had nothing to do with Stardust. It was actually a movie that was quite good. It had Claire Danes back when Claire Danes had a goddamn career, Robert De Niro in a role that certainly surprised me, and Michelle Pfeiffer. I still would, and you still would too. And it was fun and bright with full energy and just a lot of medieval just charm and magic. And he also did Kick-Ass, not Kick-Ass 2, Electric Kick-Ass Boogaloo, X-Men First Class, and Kingsman. It's funny, actually, there is somebody from the Kingsman movie, the girl with the blade legs, Sophia Botella, or however the hell you say her goddamn name, that was in Rebel Moon, Part 1, A Child of Fire. You know, she's good. She's actually really good. She's also fucking incredibly gorgeous and deserved to be in something better than Rebel Moon, Part 1, A Child of Fire. Let's get back to Argylle. So, yeah, this was also written by Jason Fuchs or Fuchs. I don't know how to say his goddamn name. He did Wonder Woman. He also did Pan. You know, that version of Peter Pan that had about $200 million thrown towards it and absolutely nobody fucking watched in theaters because nobody wanted to watch it, because even if the movie is actually good, nobody wanted to see another rendition of Pan. Hell, they had Peter Pan and Wendy, and that was shoved out on Disney+. Let's get back to Argylle. Mobile, Argylle, hostile. Oh boy, was I hostile towards Argylle. I'm really kind of tipping my hand as to how I felt about Argylle. But if you've seen Kingsman, well, this is kind of the same flavor. And also Matthew Vaughn did the subsequent sequels that descended in quality. Actually, the other one was a prequel. It really wasn't that well received. Kingsman, however, bright, energetic, and Colin Firth destroying people in that church, which honestly is what everybody who believes that kind of shit really deserves. That was a great scene. But for the 129-minute runtime, this was a whole lot of fun. Sure, it was ridiculous, but it leaned into it and had crisp writing and great acting and a lot of really good stuff. And Taylor Edgerton, I think that's how you say his name, he was good. Let's get back to Argylle. So you have Ellie Conway, Bryce Dallas Howard, who is fucking gorgeous and really, really good in some movies. The fuck happened? What happened? Ellie Conway is a novelist. That is a person who writes books, for those of you who don't understand these big fancy words with multiple syllables. And she writes spy novels. She's writing stuff about Argylle. By the way, the titular character, titular, is a funny word. Funnier than anything in this goddamn movie. Yeah, I'm really tipping my hands at how I felt about fucking Argylle. But anyway, this got a viral marketing campaign. I was seeing trailers all the way back in the fall. People were stoked about this. They were punching this goddamn thing. They were pounding it into the market. I'm seeing it on social media. For those of you that are on social media, you'll be seeing it a whole lot. Really, they were just pushing this like crazy. And part of the reason is because, well, you have Ellie Conway, Bryce Dallas Howard. She is a novelist. She writes spy books. And then it turns out that her books actually bleed into reality a lot more than she could have ever anticipated, because there is a sinister group that is bound and determined to get her for her books, because it's her books. They're exposing her deal. My God, LeVar Burton was right. Take a look. It's in a book. The Argylle Rainbow. So anyway, nevertheless, basically, the reason that this thing was marketed so hard is because it has a $200 million budget, apparently, somehow. I don't understand how necessarily, because there is CGI that wouldn't even have belonged in 2004. That is how bad a lot of the CGI is. By the way, for those that have seen the trailer, the cat's fine. The cat's fine. The cat's also the best goddamn character in the movie. Nothing personal against any of the cast members. They have been great in a lot of stuff. They've also been in a lot of stuff that has not been all that well received. But I like Bryce Dallas Howard. I really do like her. And then you have... Okay, the best way I can describe this movie is there's stuff in the book that bleeds into reality. And you try to figure out what's real, what's fake, what's real, what's Memorex. And who plays Argylle in her books is Henry Cavill, who was in Man of Steel. He also made a brief appearance at the end of Black Adam, that movie that bombed very, very hard. I want to say I hope Argylle bombs so goddamn hard that there's a crater in the earth and we can send it down there where we can never see it again. $200 million for this shit. Sam Rockwell was in this. Perfect Normal Rockwell home. I totally goddamn screwed that up. Sophia Boutella, who again was a woman that had the blade legs on the aforementioned Rebel Moon Part 1, Child of Fire. Yes, there's a sequel. Or a Part 2. I will be watching that, much to my chagrin. Dua Lipa, whoever the fuck that is. John Cena, you actually get to see John Cena and his ridiculous hair. Samuel L. Jackson, and you know what the L stands for? Motherfucker, because that's what Samuel L. Jackson loves to say. Bryan Cranston, yeah, the guy from Breaking Bad and a whole bunch of good stuff is in this. And Ariana DeBose, who, God, after Wish, I didn't think she could sink any lower. I really hope that everybody got paid well here, and I'm sure everybody had a good time making it, but I would like to know how in the world this got past any editors where people thought, hey, we need to add more slow-mo because Zack Snyder doesn't have the, the market on slow-mo. We need to get some of that because that works. From within the first, I'd say 20, 30 minutes, I had a feeling this wasn't going to be all that great, and it somehow dragged on and on and on. This thing is only a few minutes longer than the first Kingsman and feels like an hour longer. This is agonizing. It's not funny for any joke that does sort of land like a soft pillow, like Jericho landing on a crash pad. Poof! 5 or 6 jokes just, they don't land at all. Like it's a swing and a miss. And yeah, it's supposed to spoof spy movies, and that's what Kingsman did, and Kingsman did it well. Even Kingsman The Golden Circle, that admittedly was not great, still spoofed it somewhat well. The Kingsman, eh. And spoofs can be done well, and if you actually know how to make a goddamn good spoof, great. Have some fun with it. This didn't do that. This did not do that at all. And the twist is so goddamn obvious. It's very, very... I'm not going to spoil the twist here, by the way. If you do know the twist, just don't put it in the comments. Wait for people to watch a goddamn thing. Or find me on social media and post about it. I mean, I don't care. I also have a letterbox if you want to check it out. I already posted a written review. Brief written review. But I wanted to go full on just scorched earth on this fucking goddamn shit. And yes, I know it's supposed to be for entertainment purposes. That only helps when you have entertainment in it. The plot, such as it is... Despite the fact there's all these double, triple terms, who's a double agent, who's a triple agent, who's a quadruple agent. This movie needs to be quadruply bypassed into the goddamn stratosphere, just smacked, like Babe Ruth himself was sending it up there. Or Hank Aaron. Let's go with Hank Aaron, because Hank Aaron, I mean, at least Hank Aaron actually, provided some positives for modern baseball. Nevertheless, I do not know who the audience for this is supposed to be. Like, for $200 million being released in February, they did not have a lot of faith in this. This could have honestly gone right to streaming. Netflix probably would have paid handsomely. They gave $100 million, or the $100 million for The Lift. There was, what was it, The Killer that David Fincher did? That was $175 million. They spent $200 million on The Gray Man. This and The Gray Man actually are pretty similar. The Gray Man treated itself way too seriously. This treats itself way too seriously, and any of the attempts at fun don't work. There's no chemistry between any of the characters. Bryce Dallas Howard and Sam Rockwell, who are two terrific actors and have been in a lot of really good, well-received movies, have zero chemistry. None. And everybody just basically has to deal with this hacked-out dialogue by a guy, I swear to God, Jason must have been told, hey, we will let you go. You are trapped in this room like you're in Titan Tower, and you have to make sure that you write the screenplay. Oh, that's good. Let's throw $200 million at, and hell, everybody is marketable. We'll just make it work. They didn't make it work. They didn't make it work at all. When I saw the CGI in the opening chase scene, or at least in the opening moments, I'm like, you have got to be fucking kidding me. Did they just have one person working on the CGI? Was that one person a lobotomized chimp? What in the world is going on here? I have such seething hatred for such lazy films like this. It's in theaters if you do want to check it out, but I guarantee this thing's going to bomb hard. It's going to be out on streaming soon. If this thing is not on Netflix, Hulu, or whatever by May, I will be stunned. I will be absolutely stunned. I will say, if you have a Regal Pass or a Lowe's, the Lowe's AMC Pass, whatever the fuck it's called, Cinemark Pass, any of that stuff, and you're nearby, you can spend the convenience fee and go watch it, but do not pay full price. Don't even pay matinee price for this. Don't sneak into it. Put make it, have a log where you can remind yourself that you saw this and you can see something better than Argylle, because it's right up there already with the worst movies of the year. Night Swim is still above it. Oh boy, is Night Swim above it. But this is just as lazy as Night Swim. This is just as badly done. And $200 million, besides paying the cast, where did the rest of it go? I mean, was it just to get people in lavish locations like France or the south of France or wherever, Grenoble in the French Alps? Wait, that was Anatomy of the Fall. A whole bunch of... Who was this for? Who was this marketed for? I genuinely want to fucking know who this was marketed for. It's in theaters if you want to check it out. I'm going to get into spoilers. That's really about it. I might talk about a few things that were really, really dumb. The Cat's fine, again, by the way. It's in theaters, around streaming soon. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So who's Agent Argylle? It's Bryce Dallas Howard. She was Agent Rachel Argylle. Argylle, and the reason is because her memory was wiped clean after a mission went tits up. Her and Aiden, Sam Rockwell, actually were together on missions and then together in real life. You have Samuel Jackson, who plays Alfie. Yes, Alfie, the name of the cat that she has. Cat's adorable, by the way. Very, very sweet kitty. I hope that cat, has a very healthy life. And whatever other stunt cats they used, assuming. But yeah, they had one point where a CGI cat was actually, put up, and bounced up on something. And I'm like, who did the CGI? Who did... I just want to talk. Have you never been in computer school? I couldn't do CGI. I know I can't. And apparently this studio just got people that didn't know what the fuck they were doing, or just said, you have one day to do this. Do it in the worst way possible. We don't care. We could just use it as a tax write-off. There are movies getting canceled left and right. There are independent films that have to go to Kickstarter that turn out to be great. Independent horror movies, independent dramas, films that actually have heart and life and energy, and this gets hacked out for $200 million. But yeah, Ellie Conway is actually Agent Argylle. She sees Henry Cavill in her dreams. Boy, who wouldn't want to see that? Or Cavill, I think. Who wouldn't want to see him in their dreams? I mean, I know I would. You would too. Let's just be perfectly honest. The Bart Simpson haircut, I don't necessarily know about. But, yeah, I really don't know what the fuck's going on here. But, Sophia Boutella looked great. She looked great, but then again, boy, howdy, she always looks great. She's in her early 40s and looks like she's in her late 20s. Yeah, I don't know who Dua Lipa is. I have no idea. Maybe she was the blonde that was dancing in the beginning. Maybe she's a dancer. I don't know who the fuck she is. I do recall some people were very happy that she was in the movie, so I bet she means something to the young people. How you doing, my fellow kids? And Bryan Cranston's involved in this. Catherine O'Hara's in this. I feel that Catherine O'Hara was left home alone. I think Jason was left home alone and was basically writing the script while in a complete daze. I really do not understand how this movie was so goddamn shit. I do not understand at all. Bryan Cranston and Catherine O'Hara basically brainwashed Ellie, or brainwashed Rachel to become Ellie. And also there's this side piece or side thing about a music box. A music box that when her and basically Ellie pretends to be, well, actually is Rachel again and ends up gaining her memory. She has to pretend to be with Bryan Cranston and Catherine O'Hara, who were pretending to be her parents. The cat's fine, by the way. I hate to say that, but I mean, there's one point where there's this glass, bubble thing that the cat, it's one of those backpacks where the cat has some air. And at one point the thing got shot and I said, they killed a cat. I said, I am going to find where Matthew Vaughn, came up with this idea and basically just say you should never be allowed to make another movie again, because if nothing else, at least let the cat live. You kill off everybody else. Maybe the cat would have been a better special agent than anybody else in this movie. The action scenes are dog shit. People compared this to Bullet Train. Hate to say it, Bullet Train at least had a little bit of energy. I still didn't like Bullet Train, but this was complete shit. So nevertheless, Ellie, or rather Rachel, ends up doing something where she shoots Sam Rockwell's character while he's tied to a chair. But it turns out she shot him through this part where he would just go straight through, shot him in the chest, but this part of the heart where actually nothing bad would happen, and as long as you stop the bleeding, you're okay. And then he gives himself adrenaline and kicks himself up, and he's fine. Or Novocaine, or I don't know what the hell he gave himself. Probably the same amount of drugs that everybody needed to stay awake for this goddamn Schlock of a shit fest. I don't know if it's coming across, but I really fucking hated Argylle. I really hated it because it wasn't dumb fun. It was just dumb. Really, really dumb. And then Samuel Jackson's Alfie is living in a vineyard, or on a vineyard. He reveals that she actually is Agent Argylle. She had all these secrets and all this stuff in her head. There was one point where the cat got left, and I was really, really pissed off. Then it turned out the cat was fine. Apparently. And then this music box is used to control Rachel. Catherine O'Hara has the ability to do that, to help her. There is this one funny part just before that where the cat attacks Bryan Cranston. And then they're going to hack into this thing and download this file and send it to Alfie. So, because he used to work for this division, he's going to break the thing open and get all these agents exposed. But then Catherine O'Hara plays a music box and ends up possessing or mind-controlling Rachel because they did a mind control thing on a laptop when she was in the hospital, when they were pretending to be her parents. Like they did with Colin Firth in the church scene, except they did it better in the church. They could have honestly just, replayed the Colin Firth part, and it would have made as much sense as anything else in this, because at least it would have reminded us of something good. But the music box gets broken because there was this character referenced early in the movie where this one woman gets shot. Her name's Kira, and she was going to be revived in the next book. She's written a lot of Argylle books. This fan sent this idea of, Ellie coming up with a way to bring her back, like this heart thing that she did to Sam Rockwell's character. And then somebody clubs Catherine O'Hara over the head, potentially to stop a Home Alone sequel that nobody wanted. And then it turns out to be Kira, so characters that are in the book are actually here in real life, and I don't know what the fuck's going on. And then they reference that Agent Argylle had something to do with the Kingsman pub thing. I haven't watched Kingsman in years, but, that tap, the pub that they were in that was a code deal, that was actually... I haven't seen Kingsman in a number of years, forgive me. But yeah, they tied it in where Agent Argylle has something to do with the Kingsman franchise. Just don't. Just don't. Eat shit, Matthew Vaughn. Eat shit, Jason Fuck. Just, can't even focus and come up with something. It's just terrible. It gets an F. This is terrible. And I know I didn't describe much of the plot because it's incomprehensible bullshit. At the end, or near the end of it, there's all this oil on the goddamn ground. There's this reference earlier that she had a skating accident. She puts knives on her goddamn shoes and skates around, which sounds fun, except it's not. Because the CGI looks terrible. There's a color smoke-filled shootout with dancing and all this. It's just bad. It's terrible. F, it gets an F. Fucking goddamn hell, I hated this. Agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm Charles Ritlin. I'll see you soon.